LA Knight took this sign from a fan and made sure to let everyone know that we want LA Knight. It's very clear that he's fed up with this terrible booking. He's not the only one. The WWE Universe has been begging for the megastar to get a mega push. It seems like this was not a good idea because it appears that Knight is getting punished. His storyline was completely dropped the next week. He wasn't on TV, nor was he even mentioned, and he made a return to Raw last night during a commercial break where they cut him off.
What we're gonna find out is your time is up, my time.
And WWE is setting him up with a mystery opponent in the John Cena tournament that'll likely see him taking yet another loss. There's a serious issue between Hunter and Knight, and I dug into their beef. It's becoming clear that Paul Levesque isn't a fan of LA Knight, and we might never see him get the real push that he deserves.
I know LA Knight was a massive favorite coming in tonight. Great things come to those who wait. That rise is just getting started.
That was the lie that Triple H fed us after booking Damian Priest to win the Money in the Bank, even though LA Knight was the heavy favorite. And honestly, it might have been one of the worst decisions of Hunter's entire run as the head of creative. To be blunt, Damian Priest was in no position to win that briefcase, let alone become the world heavyweight champion. He did not have the charisma, he did not have the star power, and in that ring, he wasn't anything special. Let's not pretend otherwise. The only thing he had going for him was the fact that he was a part of the Judgment Day, and even that group was completely carried by Rhea Ripley and Dominic Mysterio. And if you need any proof, just look at Damian Priest today. The fans do not care about him at all. They never did. The only reason he got that push is because he was one of Triple H's personal favorites. Meanwhile, the fans were screaming for LA Knight. The yeah chants were the loudest thing each week. It was an organic rise between a star and the fans, but for some reason, Triple H ignored all of it, and it's a shame because when someone is that over with the audience, you gotta listen to the people, but he didn't. Things did look a little promising for a moment though. LA Knight found himself in a storyline with Roman Reigns for the Undisputed Championship. And I'll say this, he was out-oring the Tribal Chief, and that was not an easy thing to do, especially in the middle of Roman's historic title reign. But just like the Money in the Bank, LA Knight lost and then vanished into the mid-card division. But fine, maybe Triple H was right. Maybe all we had to do was just be patient. Like he said, good things come to those who wait. So we waited, and what happened? LA Knight entered the following Money in the Bank ladder match. Surely this was his time, right? That's what everyone thought because he was so over. Wrong. Drew McIntyre won the briefcase only to cash in and lose the same night because CM Punk interfered. The briefcase was nothing more than a prop for that storyline. Once again, the WWE had a golden opportunity to create a new megastar, and once again, they blew it. The people were behind LA Knight, and they just left us disappointed. In the summer of 2024, Knight finally won some gold when he became the US champion after feuding with Logan Paul. It wasn't the world title, but I guess something is better than nothing. But it really wasn't because the reign was lifeless, the feuds were uninspired, and he held the belt for only 119 days before losing it, and it felt like WWE only gave it to him to shut the fans up. Triple H could point to it and say, you see, I did push him, but everyone knew that he really did not care. Just look at that US title run and then compare it to his favorite wrestler, Gunther, and his IC title run. There was a major difference, and anyone could tell. And now 2025 has been the worst year of LA Knight's career. Another meaningless US title run that was really just a transitional reign that helped build Jacob Fatu. He appeared in another Money in the Bank, only this time Seth Rollins won, who really did not need it at all. They wasted that Money in the Bank just to have some material for the Netflix show. Then he got into a feud with Rollins only for Seth Rollins to fake an injury. It was never about that feud. They just needed Seth out there with someone who they really didn't care too much about. And now he's been caught up in this never-ending Vision feud for months, only to be left off the War Games match. His booking has been an absolute joke. Triple H should be embarrassed, the fans should be furious, and LA Knight deserves way better. So that begs the question, why? why does Triple H keep burying LA Knight?
The internet's not real life, right? And the bitching and the fucking complaining that is on there is not real life.
And that right there, that is the problem. Triple H is confusing passion for whining. When fans rally behind someone, that is not complaining. That is called believing in someone. That is the exact type of energy every promoter dreams of creating. But instead of embracing that passion, Hunter shuts it down. He calls it noise. He calls it bitch and complaining, and that mindset is killing the connection between the WWE and its audience, because I think that's exactly what's happening to LA Knight. Triple H sees the people online begging for a push. He hears the yeah chants echo through every arena, but despite all of that, it was never a part of his plan. And that's the thing about Hunter and his ego. If it's not his idea, it's not happening. He wants the credit for creating the next big thing. He's obsessed with being this great mind of pro wrestling. If the fans discover someone first, suddenly that person isn't worthy of a push and the fans don't know what they want. Triple H thinks that he knows what's best for business, even when the people are screaming the answer right in his face. And if you don't believe me, just listen to what he said about another superstar the fans once rallied behind, a man who went viral on his own and became a sensation without WWE's help.
Broskies want him on Raw.
Yeah. Oh, you and which other one?
I think there are a lot of us, right?
What, 3 or 4 maybe?
The clip you just saw was Triple H responding to a question about why Zack Ryder was not featured on TV during the peak of his popularity back in 2011. That was the height of the woo 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 era where everyone was chanting his name. He was a top merch seller and he was connecting with fans in a way that WWE had never seen before with YouTube. It was completely organic and 100% real. And how did Triple H respond to that momentum? With a smirk and a dismissive comment that Zack Ryder really did not have any fans. Meanwhile, this was John Cena's reaction.
I love the kid. I think he's got a ton of personality. I think one of the best shows on YouTube is True Long Island Story. You got something with that Zack Ryder kid. I'm glad we're on the same team.
See the difference? That's the contrast between a man with humility and a man consumed by ego. John Cena saw a young talent getting over with the people and he respected it. Triple H, on the other hand, decided to mock it. That's the difference between wanting to build stars and wanting to protect your throne. Triple H's ego bled through in that interview. He couldn't stand the fact that Ryder got over by himself. Maybe he was jealous that he could never get himself over like that, or perhaps he was upset at the fact that he could not get credit for that rise. Because in his world, if he didn't create the star, then the star isn't real. It's a mindset we've seen before with Vince McMahon doing the same thing for decades. And now history's repeating itself. We are witnessing the exact same thing happen to LA Knight. The fans love him. The online community rallies behind him. The yeah movement is still going strong. But because Triple H wasn't a part of that rise, he refuses to embrace it. He didn't write it, so to him, it's not real. That's what happens when egomaniacs run WWE. They want to be the architects of every success story, even if it means destroying the ones they didn't build. Vince did it, and now we're seeing Hunter do it too. He didn't believe in Zack Ryder. He ran CM Punk out of the company. He buried many more talents, and now he's refusing to give one of the biggest fan favorites in years the push that he earned. On top of that, if you do want to dig deeper into why, there might be another personal layer attached to this beef. LA Knight is a hybrid version of Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock, two men who completely overshadowed Triple H throughout his entire career. He was always behind them playing second fiddle, and it's possible that insecurity never left. And now, in 2025, when a star like LA Knight channels that same charisma and energy, it could be triggering Hunter. Triple H has never liked living in anyone's shadows, and LA Knight reminds him of the two men who kept him there. So when you ask, why is Triple H burying LA Knight? The answer is simple. It's all about ego and pride. It's the refusal to listen to the people. He doesn't want to admit that someone else created magic on their own. He thinks he knows what's best for business more than the people themselves. LA Knight was the people's choice, but in WWE, if you're not Hunter's choice, you don't stand a chance. Also, the more I looked into it, the more I noticed that LA Knight isn't the only victim of this problem. There's a disturbing pattern forming under Triple H's reign as head of creative. And that is when it hit me. Maybe the issue isn't just the booking, maybe the issue is Triple H himself. Because when you look at the track record, it's becoming clear Triple H might be the wrong man for this job, and he might just be WWE's biggest problem.